What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you an update on Fallout 4's Anniversary Edition update, which went live yesterday, and I wanted to share all that information with people because honestly I thought it was a little confusing myself. But before we get into that, I do need to inform you that right after the update dropped, Bethesda reached out and asked if I wanted a key for it, which I took so I could bring you guys this video. Because with that in mind, just right out of the gate here, unless you don't own all of the DLC, or you just really care about the Creation Club content, then this update has nothing for you. Add on top of the fact that because it updates the game, it's inherently going to break a bunch of mods at the same time, and it's not terribly difficult to realize why people are upset about it. Personally speaking, I hope Bethesda in the future looks into releasing the previous versions as like branch options, which is something you can do on Steam as an example. That lets people keep playing the game the way it is and what they have installed without necessarily having to jump over to the new stuff straight away, which would help smooth out problems with mods that they keep running into. Modding is obviously a huge part of their games, and I just feel like every time we do these updates, it inherently and understandably upsets a lot of people who don't want those mods messed with, and I feel like this branch option would just solve that problem for them, and I'm honestly kind of curious why they don't do that. But that out of the way, let's talk about why I don't think this is for most people. And it's mainly the fact that when I was initially looking into this to, understand what I was telling people, the pricing information and exactly what you're getting is extremely confusing because of the way they've named everything. So basically, Fallout 4's Anniversary Edition is the Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition with a bunch of Creation Club stuff added on top. That's it. So if you don't care about the Creation Club content and you already have all the DLC, then this doesn't do anything for you other than a small patch to the base game, which we'll talk about momentarily. So if you don't own Fallout 4 at all, you have an option of buying the Anniversary Edition, which includes the base game, all of the 6 expansions, the 3 story ones and the 3 smaller ones, alongside a bunch of Creation Club content, including some new stuff. If you already own the base game, but you don't have all the DLC and you want the Creation Club stuff, you could pick up the Anniversary Edition upgrade, which is $40 US. If, like I would imagine most people at this point, you own the base game as well as all of the DLC, but you want the Creation Club content from this, then that's a $20 upgrade, which is about the only price for value part of this that I think makes sense. The rest of it is honestly a little bit expensive. Moreover, what I think makes this confusing is the differences between the Anniversary Edition upgrade, and then the Creation Club bit of this, but with the way this was presented on like Fallout Day and stuff, they made it sound like the Anniversary Edition was going to be like this big update or whatever, but that's just not really the case. It's either it doesn't apply to you at all, or it gives you some Creation Club stuff if you care about that. Nonetheless, though, we're here to go over this stuff, so let's go over it. So if you do want to buy it, you at least know what you're getting. Starting first with the little bit that was added to the base game. As with most updates, there was a base game update added. It primarily updated the creations menu. This is how you're going to, of course, access the creation stuff and everything. And then it also fixed problems that were primarily introduced with the next gen update back when that went live. So like the resolution issues that were caused with things like ultra-wide monitors, that kind of stuff is what the base game patch sorted out. Alongside that, there are a bunch of free creations that you can pick up, including things like Morgan Yu's suit from Prey, the Doom Marine armor, things like that. So there are a few free additions to the Creation Club stuff if you want it, but in terms of what is new and is going to cost you money here, it's all of the Creation Club content that was rolled into the Anniversary Edition or the separate $20 Creation Club purchase. That includes most all of the creations that were made previously. That's not to obviously include the mods and stuff, but the actual Creation Club content that had been added previously, alongside like 9 new things. The new stuff is, for the most part, different types of weapons, like the Institute plasma weapons, a new ion gun. But surprisingly, there were actually a couple things in here that I thought were interesting. Like one of the new things that comes with the Creation Club stuff is called the Bunker Home Pack. That creation is like several different homes that act as like bunkers. Some of those were actually really cool. I was a little bit surprised by how expansive that one is. There's several new homes in there. But there's also stuff like a Brahmin companion who's all armored up that you can send to guard one of your settlements. There's a new cyber dog to add to the many different types of dogs you can mod in. And there's also some outfits and power armor stuff, as you would probably expect. So that's kind of the stuff that is being added to the Creation Club, and then it just kind of adds everything in that was already there for the most part. Which, to be fair, is a lot of stuff. They also mention that they have some new upcoming creations, one of which was added here, which is called the Tale of the Beast Hunter, which brings in a bunch of Fallout New Vegas stylized items, if that's your thing. But that is mostly it. And so, long story short, for the vast majority of people, I would say this update probably isn't going to apply. For the people who do want the Creation Club stuff, it's a little bit confusing as to what you need to buy to begin with, but it's just that $20 creation thing if you already own all the DLC. But before I leave you guys, just to provide a little bit of an update, you may wonder if this update introduced any bugs, things like that. I have seen some reports that the new creation menu just isn't working for some people. It worked for me okay, but I did notice that there were a few creations I had to go in and manually download because it wasn't doing it when I just hit the download all option, and that included some of the new stuff that was included with this update. So if you run into that problem, so that's probably something worth mentioning. And then myself, and I noticed some others mentioning that when you exit the game now, for whatever reason, it locks up and takes a really long time to actually quit out of the game. Not that that's an end of the world problem. You can just Alt F4 it or kill the program if you need to, but just thought that was a little strange. That's all I ran into personally, and so we'll have to see if anything pops up in the meantime. However, that is pretty much going to do it for this particular video. I think for most people, this update comes down to, do you want that Creation Club content or not? And other than that, I would really like to see Bethesda look into deploying different branches of this stuff, especially over on Steam, as I think it would help them sidestep a lot of these issues that pop up with mods and stuff needing to get updated when they drop these updates, that kind of thing. Either way, though, hopefully this video helped you kind of sort out what this is and isn't, and to that end, by all means, let me know how you feel about it down in the comment section below, which of course means to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.